Well, YouTubers, what is going on? It is your boy, Deluxe Man, and this is my Raw review for March 3rd of 2014. Raw in Chicago. Pretty much going into this Raw, everybody was hyped about, or at least intrigued about, how this hashtag hijack Raw business was going to play out. And to my surprise, and to the surprise of many actually, the crowd tonight wasn't as vicious or malicious as we thought they might be. They were actually pretty respectful. They were passionate. They were loud. We got a lot of CM Punk chants, which is expected. It's Chicago. But for the most part, they didn't really give any, issues to the wrestlers. They weren't disrespectful. No, they were just actual passionate fans. Now, is that because of the crowd itself? Or was it because the WWE constructively made the show to, go against or stop the hijacking from happening? Because we kicked the show off with, the crowd chanting CM Punk, of course. And we get CM Punk's music hitting and his Titantron going on. And the crowd popped big time. They thought it was CM Punk. And then Paul Heyman comes out. First thing he does, he mentions CM Punk. He mentions that he's the best in the world. And then he talks about how the WWE ran him off in a very pipe bomb-like style. He used the heat that was garnered from CM Punk leaving and transformed it into heat on himself, because he blamed the main reason why CM Punk leaving on the fans and not just the WWE. And it garnered him some heat, and then he used that to, bring out Brock Lesnar, and they talked about how Brock Lesnar is going to beat Taker. And honestly, I thought that was well played by the WWE. They realized that this crowd was going to be ruckus. They realized that the crowd was going to give them a hard time about CM Punk. So they decided, okay, you know what? We are going to take advantage of that. You want us to mention CM Punk? Let's mention CM Punk. Now, the good news is, CM Punk being mentioned should indicate that he is coming back sometime in the future. Bad news is, it wasn't tonight. He didn't come back tonight, guys. Sorry. So, those of you who were expecting him to come back, I'm sorry you were disappointed. And quite frankly, it's unfortunate that he didn't. But at the same time, it didn't really hurt the show for me. I still thought the show was overall a really good show. Reason number one was the Usos versus the New Age Outlaws. My boys had a really good match with them, by the way. And you know what? It was more of a decent match, made to look good because of the crowd. The crowd made it look more awesome than, or feel more awesome than it actually was. The Usos beat the New Age Outlaws and become, finally, after 4 years, the tag team champions. And first thing I see on Twitter, but why is it happening on Raw? Why didn't it happen at WrestleMania? And there are some fans I just want to smack in the face sometimes. It's like, listen, I'm sorry the show wasn't booked how you wanted to be booked. I'm sorry that the Usos didn't get the treatment you want them to get. At the end of the day, they were tag team champions. They won the championships. They beat a highly credible tag team who are in their old ages, but they're still a highly credible tag team in Chicago of all places to win these championships. Why are we going to be mad that the Usos didn't win at WrestleMania? So all the people out there talking about I'm not happy with this championship win because it didn't happen at WrestleMania. Please slap yourself. At the most, if they give you the Usos winning the tag team championships, take it. Enjoy it. At least they won the freaking championships. It didn't happen exactly how you want it to happen, but who cares? You know what? I'm happy that they won the championships before, WrestleMania, because that tells me that we might get an even better match for them at WrestleMania. We could get a ladder match with the Usos and the Rose Brothers and Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara. I was going to say the Real Americans, but based off of what happened tonight with them, probably not, but there are many more possibilities that were opened because of the Usos winning tonight. And they're getting the rematch tomorrow night or whenever they're filming the freaking main event show. I think that's on Wednesday, but whatever. So we won't see this match again at WrestleMania. We're getting a different match. You should be happy. I'm happy. So screw all of you that don't like it. Deal with it. Seriously. It's not that big of a deal. Cesaro fought Big E in a rematch from last week, and Swagger interfered and cost him the match by DQ. And then later on in the night, I think Big E had another match with Swagger. I don't know. They have no direction for Big E right now. But I think Cesaro got in the ring and tried to big swing Swagger. And then Zeb Coulter pretty much had to break them up and tell them to hug it out and do the We the People stuff. Yeah, it looks like we're going to get Cesaro versus Swagger at WrestleMania. You know, well, again, I would rather them be a tag team, but if this is what they want to do with them, go right ahead. Can't do anything with it. But this match I am very happy to talk about. The Shield versus the Wyatts 2. Wasn't as good as their match at the Elimination Chamber. It felt like it was just as good, but I won't say it was there. It's like a centimeter under it. You know, I felt like the Elimination Chamber match was a tad bit better. This match was almost there. It was a really, really good match for Raw, trust me. And the storytelling was fantastic. You know, they were beating the hell out of the Wyatts. The Shield was beating the hell out of the Wyatts. And then everything went downhill when Seth Rollins walked out on the group. Yeah, the guy keeping the group together. The glue that held them together walked out. And the storytelling, pretty much from this perspective, was, you know, he was just sick of it. He was sick of, you know, trying to keep things together, and he was just getting the the end of the stick. So he said, screw you guys. I'm going home. And because of him leaving, the Wyatts picked up the scraps and beat the Shield again. I like that. It's something that I didn't see coming, but at the same time, it adds a lot more interest to the breakup of the Shield. And guys, man, this is one of the most interesting things about Raw right now. The breakup of the Shield. It feels so natural. And I love this match for not just because of the storytelling, but it pretty much set up their individual personalities. You had Dean Ambrose acting like a lunatic a lot more than usual. You had Seth Rollins more than usual being a high flyer and just being a massacre inside the ring. And of course, Roman Reigns is the beast who just kills people because he's a beast. And we got more of those distinctive personalities in this match. And hopefully over time we see more and more and more of it. And then at WrestleMania, they fight each other. And I can't wait for it. I think it's going to be pretty freaking awesome. You know, the Wyatt family later on confronted John Cena, and I'm kind of skipping around here and there, but just go with me on this. You know, John Cena came out later on the night and talked about how, you know, he respects the Chicago crowd. And once again, the WWE playing off of the Chicago crowd trying to hijack the show. And this is probably, you know, a result of them promoting a hijacking of Raw, which led the WWE to prepare accordingly. John Cena talked about how he respects the crowd for trying to hijack the show. He respects the audience for being vocal. He respects the audience for wanting change. But, if you want change, you have to go through me, because I am not giving up this spot. That's John Cena's philosophy. But Bray Wyatt comes in and does this awesome analogy on, you know, a horse that wins all the time, but over time when it starts to get slower and slower, reality hits and then it gets taken behind the barn and it gets killed. And he told John Cena that, I'm going to destroy your empire. I'm going to take you behind the barn and put you out of your misery. And man, this is some good stuff. I am really loving the stuff with Bray Wyatt and John Cena. I can't wait for their match. You know what? I think they're going to have a very good program leading into WrestleMania, and I look forward to seeing where it goes to next. Bray Wyatt to beat John Cena, please. I hope that is in the books. Emma and Santino Marella fought Summer Rae and Fandango. The crowd was not very receptive of Emma at all, which bothered me. It was heartbreaking because I love Emma. She's a very fun character, but when you stick her with a joke like Santino Marella, that is what's going to happen, unfortunately. But, you know, the crowd also took a big crap on Christian versus Sheamus. The match itself was alright, it was decent, but, you know, the crowd was just not into it, and they pretty much tore it to shreds with, you know, this is awful chance, boring chance, and this match chance. Sheamus beat Christian, but afterwards Christian attacked him and pretty much injured the hell out of him. So we're going to get Christian versus Sheamus, probably in like a Belfast brawl at WrestleMania or something like that. So let's see what happens. The Bella Twins beat Oksana and Alicia Fox. Alright. Dolph Ziggler with Aaron Paul beat Del Rio. Cool. The crowd was very receptive of Ziggler. He did get "We Want Ziggler" chants throughout the night, so that was smart of WWE. And I think this is where we got the Hall of Fame induction. The newest inductee into the Hall of Fame is Paul Bearer. Good choice. One of the best unique managers to ever enter wrestling. I will honestly say Paul Bearer is the reason why Taker is where he is today. If there was no Paul Bearer, I don't think Taker would be where he is today, in my personal opinion. I mean, he probably could have still gotten there, but in terms of the mystique and the aura of Taker, we wouldn't have that. We would not have had that if Paul Bearer wasn't there. So yes, Paul Bearer is definitely one of the best managers in the business, and I think he deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Much deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. So throughout the night, we had promos with Batista and Daniel Bryan. Batista talking about how Daniel Bryan is just not meant to be a main event player. He hates the yes movement. He thinks it's the stupidest thing ever, and that he is a real star. He is what the audience should want and what's best for business. And you know what? It feels a lot more entertaining when Batista is a heel. Now we have a reason to hate him. Now we have a reason to dislike him. We're not just doing it because we're a-holes. No, he's a bad guy now. So it feels a lot more natural, and I think Batista is going to have a lot more fun being that bad guy. You know what I'm saying? Daniel Bryan came out and talked about how that he is fighting for the audience and that he's going to hijack Raw, again playing off of WWE's preparation of this show, and that he is not going anywhere until Triple H accepts his challenge. Triple H talks about how, he's a B-plus player, how he's not worthy, how he's never going to fight Daniel Bryan, and how Daniel Bryan pretty much told Triple H that he needs to get Stephanie's skirt, and that Triple H needs to give Stephanie his pants because he doesn't have any, apparently. He's trying to, psych him into fighting him at WrestleMania, and he even said, "Make me leave this ring, Triple H." They get security, and they push him off. And then we don't see them until the main event, where we got Batista versus Daniel Bryan. Now, when I saw the time of this match, it was like, Raw ends usually for me 10:05. And it ended at like 10:15, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around that time. And it ends with Randy Orton costing Batista the match. Daniel Bryan beats Batista by DQ because Randy Orton attacks Daniel Bryan purposely to cost Batista the match. And next thing you know, all three of them are brawling. I think Daniel Bryan takes out Randy Orton, and then Batista takes out Daniel Bryan, and I think the Authority comes out and they beat up Daniel Bryan. And Triple H, is all like, "I'm sick of you and your stupid fantasy," and then Daniel Bryan kicks him in the face, and then Triple H gets pissed off and pedigrees him. So, based off of the ending, and based off of where this is going, it looks like it's becoming more and more of a reality that Daniel Bryan might in fact pull a double duty at WrestleMania 30. He might in fact face a Triple H and then get inserted into the main event that very same night. Because really, guys, let's look at this match from a business perspective and a fan's perspective. Business-wise, how smart is it for business to have the main event be between two heels? You guys want to play this game? You guys want to play the business-minded fan game? Okay, let's play the business-minded fan game. How smart is it business-wise to have two heels end WrestleMania 30? That's not how it's supposed to be. Batista and Randy Orton are heels right now. Okay? It is not a good idea business-wise to end WrestleMania 30 with heels. It is not a good idea. And I'm pretty sure the WWE Championship match is going to end the show. So, either two things are going to happen. Daniel Bryan is in fact going to pull a double duty, which is him fighting Triple H, him beating Triple H, and then wrestling in the main event against Batista and Randy Orton. Or, CM Punk is going to come back and they might insert him into the main event, or insert him into Triple H and Bryan into the main event, whatever. That's just assuming he does return. I'm more than likely going with Daniel Bryan pulling a double duty, But let's see what happens. As a fan, I don't want to see it because it's not what I want. It's not my guy in the main event. But even from a business-minded fan's perspective, it's still a terrible idea to do Batista versus Randy Orton when they're both bad guys. Terrible for business. But that was Raw. I do feel like it was a good show. It left me intrigued about what they're going to do next week, leading up to WrestleMania. So, give me your thoughts down below about the show and tell me how you feel about it. And, let's start a discussion down there, guys. With that said, this is your boy, the Alyx Man, signing off. I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out.